Welcome to the Positively You podcast. I'm your host, Jessie Larson, and I'm passionate about helping you shift the way you think so you can create a life you're absolutely obsessed with. Each week, I'll be bringing you a guest or a thought that's going to help you feel more optimistic and equipped to take real action. Get ready to push past limiting beliefs, ditch that negativity, and start showing up as the best and most positive version of you. Girl, let's do this. Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. I'm so excited today to chat with my friend Steph, who was an internet friend, and now we are real life friends. And that is one of my favorite things about the virtual world, about podcasting and about Instagram and social media and all the things, is that we can be connected to people who we probably wouldn't in our normal everyday life and then become real friends. So super excited, Steph, to have you on today. If you guys do not know Steffanie, she is that Undercover Unicorn on Instagram, but I'm going to allow her to introduce herself to you guys.
Hi. Yeah. It's a little bit surreal for me to be here because I've been following you for a long time and listening to your podcast and love everything you do and everything you're about and what you share. And so this is kind of fun for me. My name's Steffanie Wing. And a few years ago, I had my little girl, my baby, my second and last baby. And I got hit really hard with postpartum depression, and I kind of found my way out of it, and I dyed my hair pink, and had this magenta, bright neon hair for forever. I had it for so long. And I kind of coined myself as a unicorn, and I loved the idea of an undercover unicorn, just trying to uncover all the things that are already inside of you, right? And we all have, whether you like unicorns or not, we all have a unicorn inside of us, right? That we're trying to find. And a lot of us are trying to find it from outside of ourselves, but we really need to go in. And so, for the past few years, I've just been sharing my love for self-development and more specifically affirmations and self-love. I run a jewelry boutique called Undercover Unicorn Shop, and every item is attached to an affirmation card. It has a meaning and a purpose behind it. And then more recently, I started doing all women events that promotes self-love and kind of just helps us all connect and see that we're all kind of on the same page, right? All we need is each other and to find who we are inside, right? So those events have been super fun. So that's a little bit. I don't.
I love how you're I'm so excited to be here. It's so surreal because I feel the exact same about you. It's two of us just over here fangirling, and you guys listening just get to be a part of it, I guess. But it's something that I love so much about you and about a lot of guests that I bring on this show, is that the message and the mission that we have comes from kind of our own pain, our own kind of I've been there. I'm not there right now, or heck, I might be. Who knows, right? Sometimes it's wait, no, I already did this. I don't want to do it again. But that we know okay, if I experience this, it's probably not a single person thing. It's probably not unique to just me. And I find it so beautiful to take that and to be I'm going to help lift somebody else. I'm going to share either on a huge scale or even just a one-to-one conversation that hey, you're not alone. This helped me. And being able to help your life by helping others, and then help others by what you're doing. And I think that is absolutely beautiful.
Thank you so much. I think a lot of the beauty of it, of sharing it, not only I do want to help other people, right? And I feel like I've had some great feedback. They say. No, I'm just kidding. I feel like I am helping women, and that is my goal. But in doing all of that, I feel like I found more of myself in like reflecting it to other people, if that makes sense. And I can kind of pinpoint what's going on when I can share it and I can talk about it with other people. And there's just so much like beauty in sharing our pain. I don't know why, but kind of like you said, you know, we get to see that we're not alone and we're not the only ones, but also I think it helps us like reflect on what's really going on, or is it really that bad? Oh, there's other people that are experiencing the same thing, and so there's hope. And I think that's why I continue to do it. I'm totally an open book on Instagram. If you go to my Instagram and you start reading my long posts, you're going to find out all sorts of things about my life, like all my thoughts.
I love that though, because, with things that aren't quote unquote like perfect or whatever, especially when it comes to motherhood and like postpartum depression, where it can feel kind of shameful to not just be over the moon excited about it and love it. Yeah. That's something that we kind of want to keep to ourselves and just deal with it by ourselves. But in opening up and in sharing, like you said, sure, it helps other people, but it helps you. And I think sometimes we have to say that we want to help other people so that it doesn't seem like it's this selfish thing. Again, there's all of these like things that we think are right, or the right way to do it or the wrong way to do it. But that every single time I've talked to somebody that has either struggled or is going through something and they've opened up and been vulnerable and been willing to share, that bond between me and that other person is like reinforced so incredibly strong, other than, if we were sitting around talking about the weather or the drought or the last time we had rain, like these superficial conversations that we can have, where if we just open up and we verbally process together and we kind of work through it and we just share truth, like facts about where we're at, like my connections with those people, with you, and like you're a great example of that. Like I felt our friendship strengthen so quickly and so strong, like very fast.
Yeah, 100%. Those are definitely obviously my more close relationships, is people that are willing to be vulnerable back to me. I'm, like I said, I'm an open book, and I will totally, like, if we meet in person for the first time and you ask me how my day is going, I'll be like, oh, well, this crazy crap happened. And then I'll lay it all out how I feel about it. And then if that's not reciprocated, which I totally get, like not everybody's willing to like let it all go right away. I feel like, oh my gosh, they don't like me. They don't like me, or they think my struggle is weird or something like that. But yeah, I 100% agree that that's what bonds people together, is their struggles, for sure.
Yeah. And I don't know if it's that we share more, or like that people need permission or to feel okay about it. But like, if that's you, I guess, here's your permission, here's your sign.
Yes. Yeah.
So, okay. So how old is your youngest?
So she just turned 5.
Just turned 5. Okay. And you said you struggled after her, and then you were able to kind of use some tools, figure out some things to help yourself get out of that postpartum depression, that dark spot you were in. And one of the things that you've mentioned to me and that you talk about on Instagram and all over the place is affirmations. And I am a huge believer and a huge fan of affirmations and the power of thoughts and the power of words. But I want to hear your thoughts on affirmations and how you use them and what they do and all the things.
Yes, I love it. I'll just tell you my whole story with affirmations. So after I had my little girl, I was in this direct sales company and had a really awesome leader. She was so great because she would send us like book recommendations, and she wanted us to do like the personal development stuff. And I've never been into that. I've never really done anything. I told myself that I can't read books because I have ADD, and I just like put books aside and I don't read books. I'd never even heard of podcasts. I didn't even know what they were. And now I have one. And I'm on one right now. Anyway. I started reading The Miracle Morning. Have you ever read The Miracle Morning?
Yes.
Yeah, amazing. So good. He is an amazing man and went through some crazy stuff. And he has these like 7 steps of things that you should do in your miracle morning. You wake up an hour early, and then you spend like 10 or 20 minutes, however you want to spend on each of these 7 things, right? It's 7, I'm pretty sure.
I think so. It's been a while since I've read it.
SAVERS. Yes. No, that's 6. SAVERS is the acronym. And you do all these things. You read something, you like educate yourself, you move your body, you visualize, you pray, and you journal, and you do affirmations. And specifically, affirmations was one of those things. And I'd never done this before. And I had been going through like some body image issues after having a baby, and I didn't see it right. I was just like, oh, why am I this way? Oh, wait, I just had a baby and like loved my pregnancy. And so now why am I feeling this way? And I had depression. I was going through some really dark stuff. But one thing about me is that if I have connection with people, like if I'm getting those connections that I need, I'm okay. But if I'm alone, I'm not okay, kind of a thing. And so I was in this direct sales company. And so everything that was connected to that, because it involved having a team and being a part of something, I was great. And so I was eating all this stuff up, and I was like trying to do it because I was trying to like be a part of the team and impress somebody. I don't even know. Or like, that's what I thought I had to do to make sales. Right. And so I was doing all these things just for that. And so I started doing this miracle morning, and it was such a blessing for me at the time because it really helped me get out of my head and get out of those terrible thoughts that were going through my mind. And then I started doing affirmations, and I didn't really know. I just like thought those were things like on Pinterest. So I would like type in what like body love or body image affirmations. And this was right around the time that like body love was starting to be a thing, and body acceptance and all of that. And I just like had these things that I got from Pinterest, and I was saying them out loud, like, my body is beautiful. And I would just sit there and be like, what? No.
Yep. Been there.
I don't think so. Like, do you see this flab and the back fat and like all this stuff? And I'm trying to eat healthy and it's not going well. I'm like doing all these diets and I can't ever go through with them because I'm trying to like force myself to do it. And then when I fail, I shame myself and all this stuff. And so I was like, these affirmations are dumb. Like, nobody actually, these are crap. Like, nobody actually thinks this about themselves, right? Like, why am I saying this out loud? I just feel so stupid doing it. And so I actually like totally left that part out of my miracle mornings because I was done with it. I was like, this is so dumb. But I was enjoying the other stuff like journaling and praying because I was feeling a connection and with myself and God. But the affirmations, I was like, this is just so dumb. And then one day I was like feeding my baby a bottle, or I was changing her diaper. I don't remember. I've told this story like a million times, so I'm sorry if you've heard it already, but I assume maybe your followers haven't. And so I was doing something with my hands, right? Something really important that we do as mothers. I was keeping my child alive or safe or happy. And I finally saw my hands and I thought, you know what? My hands are actually beautiful because they exist, because of what they can do, because that they are a part of me, because I create with them, because I love with them. And I thought, oh, my hands are beautiful. And I guess like other parts of me can be beautiful too. You know, it was little, but I was like, yeah, I guess maybe this is a thing. And I started saying that to myself more often. I kind of skipped over the part where I would stand in the mirror and like say negative affirmations to myself. So you may have been saying affirmations to yourself for forever, but it's you beating yourself up and saying negative affirmations in the mirror, or just in your head, be like, oh, why am I so stupid? Like, why did I do that? Which we all do it. And I still do it. Like, those are still things that come. But when you can flip that around and use them as positive affirmations, instead of shaming yourself into being a better person, you're like literally rewiring your brain. There's scientific evidence that you can rewire your brain to give yourself positive reinforcement to be a better person, to achieve your goals, and to do what you want to do, and to feel better about yourself. And the more I was doing that, the more I felt it, and I realized that, and really got to a place where I can say that I love me. And I know even some people are like, well, I can't even get there yet. Like, I just want to be neutral about myself. I want to be body neutral, or I want to be self-neutral, or whatever. And I guess, like, if you're at least coming up from being negative to that, that's amazing. And if that's where you are, that's beautiful. But I am in a place where, even though I still screw up, and even though I do stupid things, and I don't work out every day, and I don't eat a salad every day, or whatever it is, like, I love who I am. And I realized a little while ago, I talked about this a little bit, I love myself like I love my family. My family still annoys me, and my family still does stupid things, and like, they still do things that hurt me, or whatever it is. And I still love them. And I still, like, for my kids, like, I want the best for them, and I still want to do what they need. And so I totally love myself, and I can totally accept that, because I know that even though I screw up, or even though I do stupid things, I still want to take care of me, and I still want to do the best, do whatever is the best for me too.
Yeah.
And I think that, sorry, that's a little tangenty, but I think that when we can learn to use affirmations to get there, they've just kind of become a consistent part of my life. I did use them in the mirror for a long time, and I sometimes do that now, but I feel like maybe I have rewired my brain, or I just use them in my thoughts, because when a negative thought comes, I can be like, no, okay, I got to think about this. Is that true? And if it is, how can I flip it around to give myself positive reinforcement instead of shaming whatever this truth that I think is here, and use an affirmation to get me there.
I'm going to jump in, because I don't want to lose the thought that I have. No, but when you're saying, a lot of us are saying negative affirmations 100%. And I don't think we're saying them. And that's where we don't notice. I think it's so subconscious that it's just this thought, because someone listening is going to be like, yeah, no, I don't sit in the mirror and be like, your face is, or whatever. And because it's just these like fleeting thoughts that are just there subconsciously, I don't think we notice them as much, but like, they are working their magic and their power, because thoughts and words are powerful. That when you do start doing those affirmations, like you said, it felt so silly, because that internal dialogue for so long was the complete opposite. So then your brain is just like, wait, what? Like, this is a mind flip. Like,
yeah.
And so, and I love too your hand story. And I had heard it one time from you, but I love that story so much, because I'm a huge fan of taking a goal and making it small and smaller and smaller. And so the fact that you were able to break that down and be like, I can love my hands, and that is where I'm at. And I like chills. I love that so much, because it gives you just that smallest part where like, I might not be able to do all of this. And I feel like that with so many things that we want to do, with goals, with, lifestyle choices we want to make, or changes. And it just seems so overwhelming and so impossible, that even with affirmations and with your love and acceptance of yourself, you broke that down into, we're going to start with my hands. Like, so good. And I love that grew. And then I'm just going to break down everything you said. when you got to the point now where you're at, where you're like, I love myself like family. Do you remember the first time that you realized that you were at that point?
Oh my gosh, that's a great question. I don't think there was like one like lightning bolt moment. It's just like something that slowly happened over time. Yeah. So
I remember I didn't have like a light bulb moment, but I do remember one time I was in the mirror because I'm a huge fan of affirmations. I've been doing them for a long time and coming up with, sayings that I am this or whatever. And I remember getting ready one day and looking in the mirror, and I can't even like describe the feeling, but I was like overcome, where I was like, I really like this person looking back at me. And it wasn't like this light bulb thunderous moment, but I was like, oh my gosh, like I have nothing bad. I just felt like pure love for the person staring back at me. And I was like, wow, everybody needs to feel this because I feel so good right now. And is that every day? Absolutely not. But like you were saying, it's love, it's full, and you can love your family and you can still get annoyed. And I think that that is the definition of love, is being able to accept the whole part of you, not you when you're perfect, not you when you've reached some, level of whatever. But like, that's where love is when you can be like, this is me, flaws and all, like when I'm doing great, when I'm not doing great, when I annoy myself, whatever. And that's what we're striving for. Not like this, like, I don't know, I feel perfect now or something.
Yeah. Or I can do no wrong or whatever it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I've made it.
Yeah. Oh, my heart like swelled 20 times bigger when you just were talking about yourself. Like, cause that's how I totally feel too. And like, not every day. I was thinking about, though, there were some moments, I used to go to the gym every single morning and like do the weights in front of all the macho guys behind me and stuff. And I had to totally get out of my head because of that. And which I think there's all these stigmas we give ourselves, and we don't really have to worry about stuff like that. Anyway, that's a whole other thing. But when you're lifting, this because you're an amazing power lifter. You look at yourself in the mirror because you're like checking form, right? Like you're making sure you're doing it. And so I would sit there and like bicep curls and stare at myself and be like, hey, am I doing it right? Oh yeah. Oh, look at that, like muscle popping out there, okay, like you're doing a great job. And I can start to like give myself this inner dialogue of like, yeah, you're doing awesome. Like, look at you, look at your progress that you've made. You're here, you're doing it, you're showing up for yourself. And there have been those moments in the gym specifically where I do just look at myself and like so proud of how far I've come and that I'm here and that I'm working on myself, like any of it,
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I love that you're talking about that, like yourself, like everybody does need to feel that. We all deserve to be okay with the person that's right here, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I also think it's important to like reiterate that it's not like you don't get there and then you're done. And I'm like, I feel this way every day, all the time. Like it's crazy. I've talked about before. It's crazy how I can feel like really, really proud of myself at the same moment that I'm also able to like pick myself apart. Like literally within the same moment. And as you were saying, looking in the mirror and checking form, because I'll film myself and check form. And, I'll be like, wow, that was really good. But then I'll be like, but like the way the lighting is hitting that one area of my body, like why? Like, and I'm like, wait, why am I doing this? Like, I'm insanely proud of myself on the one hand, but yet I'm still. And so just like for anyone who's on this like journey, like know that like, I don't know if this is good news or bad news, but there's not like an end point where like you've made it and you're never going to like feel bad ever again. But I think it's that awareness of being able to like, because even when I do it, I'm able to be like, whoa, like, hold on, rein it back in. But that it still comes. And so like, don't beat yourself up if you are like that, because hello, welcome, you're human.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you. Thank you for saying that, because it's so true. It's a never ending thing. But when we have those tools and awareness, like you said, then we can like be okay with our journey and like just find more happiness and joy throughout all the things that we go through and do. Um, you were talking about before, you're kind of reiterating my hands. And I like to tell people about the affirmation cycle. So there's an affirmation cycle. So I had my hands, right? I found some kind of proof that I was beautiful in my hands. And I used that proof to build upon the next time I used an affirmation, right? And then you can use that affirmation the next time. Sorry, I got to start over because I get there. It's like the circle and I always miss a step or something. But so you got to find your proof, and then you use that proof to build upon the next time you say that affirmation, and take action after that. Right. And so whatever it is, you want to I always go back to body things because it's just easier to talk about that. And I feel like so many of us have a body thing here or there, but whatever body thing you want to work on or have a goal towards, you work towards that. And then that action builds upon that proof that you already had. And so then you're using that affirmation again, and you're taking more action, you're building more proof. And then that affirmation just becomes a truth to you. And now it's your truth. And now it's just something that is, and isn't something that you second guess anymore because you built upon it. And you have this affirmation cycle that you use to use your proof, say it, take action, and then you're just going on it more and more and more, and you're building and building and building. And it's really beautiful. And you just do it one little thing at a time, like you were saying. So
I love the idea too of building that proof, because our brains like crave that, right? Like they crave that like truth and those facts. And like just starting with anything, and yeah, body stuff is super easy to relate to. And I'll bring it back just to give another example with the challenge that I did to make my bed. And if you've been a listener here, you know my obsession with making my bed. But even that, I started with like saying like the same thing, like I make my bed every day. And when I started saying that, that was not true. But I was like, I make my bed every day. So then I did make my bed. And then I was like, see, I make my bed every day. And it just builds and builds and builds. And now I'm like, I don't know, like 4 years into this, like making my bed every day. But that's become like a part of me. It's proof. I know that's, and so little silly, simple thing that I'm talking about, but it's that same idea, right? Where you take something like easy that you can build quick proof, and then take action and keep building. I'm here. Like, I could nerd out on that. Like, I'm here for this cycle.
Yeah. And, a lot of times we'll get like beaten back down to where we were. I'll just dive into this. I hope you're okay with that, but that's kind of where I'm at right now. Yeah. I've been great for like 5 years. I haven't had depression. I have still negative thoughts. I'm still human. Like I've been sad or whatever, taken breaks, had hard times. But these last few months, I literally got hit with depression again. Like it felt like postpartum depression all over. And I was like, what the heck? Where did this come from? Like, I'm up here, right? I love myself, but I'm saying all these affirmations. I'm doing all this stuff to like take care of myself. And then, and literally like nothing crazy traumatic happened in my life. Like nothing happened. I probably took too much on. I was trying a bunch of things with work, and I was super busy and like overwhelmed. And then I was like, oh, okay, I got to take a break. I got to be done for a little bit. And then I stopped taking care of myself. And then it just kind of like went downhill really fast. And so I guess, it didn't come out of nowhere, but to me, it felt like it because I hadn't had those thoughts and feelings and everything for like so long. And I started to shame myself for it, which is normal. Like, this is human. But I caught it, and I knew, because I had these tools that I could use to get out of it. And I have to give a disclaimer. I am seeking professional help. I think that's really important for everybody to understand. I've never seen a therapist before. I've always wanted to. And so when this happened, is like, okay, not that was a reason, not that it should have gotten that far to have a therapist. Like, everybody should have therapy. I think it should just be like part of our life, right? We should all get a therapist for everything that happens. And so I just want to put that in there. Like, I am seeking professional help, and I've been doing a lot of things, but I have had really great relationships with some therapists in my life, friends, and I've had some speaking engagements with other therapists. And the tools that I've learned through affirmations, journaling, prayer, all these things that I share, that's what they share. That's what they help their clients with. That's what they do. And so I knew that I was already there. I was already in this I had this great toolbox to help me. And so I knew what was going on and what I needed to do. And it was so hard. So hard. I just felt like I finally shared this post today. I haven't been on Instagram since this all happened, because I didn't feel like I was adding value to anybody's life by sharing it. And I didn't want it to be like, oh, woe is me. And I didn't want to have to explain myself. Like, I have that boundary. Like, I don't have to explain myself why I'm not on Instagram. And I just felt like it wasn't the time to share, because I was so far down in this hole. But today I finally posted kind of what's this metaphor that came to me the other day of what's been going on. And I feel like I fell in this hole, and a bunch of stuff fell on top of me. And I had all this like stuff pressing on my chest, and like getting me to this place where I wasn't going to exist anymore. Like, that's literally how it felt. And knowing the shame was part of that. Knowing the shame didn't have a place, I started working really hard to get that off of me, at least. Like, at least let's take this shame off. And that had to start with affirmations. I had to know and understand that I was worthy enough to take that off, that I didn't have to have it, and that it didn't have a place in my life. I had to use affirmations to tell myself that it was okay to do that. And they allowed me to get there. I was still in this hole, but I didn't have all this crap on me.
Can I ask you what affirmations you used to do that?
That's a really great question. Oh my gosh, I wish I would have brought my journal over here, but a lot of it is like, I can keep going. Gosh, brain fart, really. I just that you are worthy, to be here.
Yeah.
That was a lot of it, is like, you have so much to share. You still are worthy to be here, and you can exist in this place. And so I think those help with the shame.
Yeah, for sure.
Just remembering that it's okay that I'm here. It doesn't matter what I'm doing, but it's okay to just be here. And that led me to a place, well, now you're not doing anything about it. Now you're still laying around. Now you're still in this darkness. And you know what to do. I think that was a big part of it. It's like, you know what to do. Why aren't you doing it? You need to go work out. You need to take care of yourself, and you need to journal and meditate and all these things. So why aren't you doing it? And so I said, okay, I know that those things help me. And I've seen the proof in the past of what they can do. But I know if I put all of that on me to do right now, I'm going to fail. Like, I know that about myself. And so I just said, okay, I'll just do one little thing at a time, and one little thing at a time. And I started just drinking more water, and that was like, drink some water today. Like,
Yeah.
I wasn't drinking any water. I was drinking soda or whatever. And it's like, no, okay, let's just have a glass of water. Let's start there. That was it. And I would let myself do whatever the rest of the day, as long as I got that one little thing. And then I would just build upon that. And affirmations and the way of like, you have something to share. You have value to give to others. I seriously wish I would have like brought my journal over here, because I write them down and they leave.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
They're not in my brain anymore. But just giving myself that encouragement and positive reinforcement instead of shaming myself. Well, like, you're doing such a great job today because you got dressed, you paid more attention to your kids. And I do feel like it almost forced me into having a better relationship with my kids and like paying attention to them more, because that was the only thing that I was doing, because I had to, right? I had to take care of my kids, and I had to take them to school. And that was the only thing I was focusing on. And so I would reward myself for that, like, mentally. And then you build upon that and you just keep going. And honestly, I feel like affirmations kept me alive. Affirmations and my husband kept me alive this time, because he like saw it right away, because he knows he saw it last time. He didn't understand it last time, but as soon as he did, he saw it again. He was like, okay, I'm going to watch you and make sure you're okay. So he's been amazing, like so encouraging. But so while I'm still climbing out of this hole, I feel like I'm almost there. I can see light, like things are going good. I have professional help coming in to help me. I still have to make that decision, and I still have to have those good, positive thoughts to get myself into a better place. So every day I try to think of an affirmation and write it down, or I'll just read one or find one and just connect to it. And that honestly helps my day go so much better. But we know our day isn't like, oh, I had a beautiful morning, so the rest of the day is going to be perfect, right? Like, that doesn't always happen. Things happen in the middle. Like, we have long days because we have kids. And so I might have a great day until 6 p.m. and then somebody says something to me and I'm like, right back down there. And then I just use those affirmations in my head and just, you know what, just keep going. Everything's going to be okay. You're worthy. You're okay. You're meant to be here. And things are going to get better. Everything's going to be okay. And I might be mad and I might be angry, and that's okay. Like, we have emotions and we need to feel through those emotions. It's so important, because if we're just like shoving them down, then they explode one day, or you get into a dark place.
Exactly.
Yeah. But yeah. And I just kept getting this message. I don't know if you are into angel numbers.
Yes. Hi. Hello. Yeah. We could nerd out all day.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
What were you getting?
I love it. So I've always gotten 1111. That's been my entire life before I knew what it was. And I finally looked it up, and it's like, yeah, angels are supporting you is what it means to me. And so I've been getting that a little bit more lately, but every single day and in multiple ways is 444. And it's just keep going. And I see it almost every single day. Yeah. Everywhere and every day I'll look down on my phone and it's 444. And I'm like, what?
That's
And
amazing.
yeah.
You know what I love about that is because I know a lot of people will be like, oh, whatever, that's woo. Those are affirmations as well, because affirmations, if you look at the definition of the word, is to affirm, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you are finding something, whether it be in nature, I love like animal messages. Hi, like mine is like a hawk or an owl, and I have really cool stories about seeing something like that. But I think it's anything, like you can have anything be something where you get a little message or a song comes on a radio and you're like, thank you. That's what I needed. And I think that those are types of affirmations as well, right? They're not something that you're saying out loud and pointing to yourself, but it's something that's affirming your thoughts, your beliefs, what you're working on, telling you you're doing a good job, that you're on the right path. And so I personally think that that is a part of them, and that that plays in beautifully to you doing that, is that not only can you do those affirmations for yourself, but that there are beautiful forces all around us that can give us those affirmations as well. So
yeah, I love that you
I mean,
said
you
that.
could go.
I didn't make that connection, but at the same time, like I've been using it as an affirmation, right? Just keep going, keep going, keep going. And anytime I doubt like what I've been doing for my business, it's a keep going message that I'll get later that day or the next day. And I'm like, okay, I'll just keep going. And the more you add on and you do it a little bit at a time, the more you try, the more you keep going, the stronger you get. You know this with working out, the more you do that same weight, all of a sudden you can up it a little bit the next time and you can get a little bit further. And so that's what I've been trying to just remember with that keep going, is that you'll get stronger and I can do it, eventually.
Yeah. Well, and something that I liked that you said about when you're telling where you're at right now and where you're deep in this hole. And I love analogies and visualizing it. And being in a hole is such a good, like, visual thing to be able to think about climbing out and about how deep it is. And when you said I was in there, but then things were falling on top of me and I had all of this stuff. And we talk a lot about having tools and having a tool belt full of things. And where you said, I know what to do. I know what to do. And it's like, yeah, sometimes we have tools that worked, but we were in a different scenario. We might not have been in a hole. We might have just been, running a rate or whatever, like insert whatever.
Yeah.
And that's when it's like, okay, I might need a different tool, or I might need to use this tool in a different way. And that's why I love having, you on and different people on that talk about the tools that they use and the things, and the affirmations is one of them, but that you also had to get some other tools. I had to, talk about it is one. Open up, be vulnerable, get professional help, get a therapist. And I agree with you. I think we should all be assigned, like we are in high school with like a school counselor. Like we should just be given like a life like therapist assigned to us.
Right.
Like that would be amazing. Like Oprah, you get a therapist and you get a therapist.
Perfect. Yeah.
But that, like, I love so much that this tool of affirmations has been so powerful for you. And I think it's one that gets discounted so quickly because it can feel really silly. Like, look at yourself in the mirror and say blah, blah, blah. Like, but really, 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 like these words are so powerful, and they can be powerful, like you said, in a negative way where you felt everything just on top of you. And that's what they are. It's words, it's thoughts, if you're not saying them out loud, but it's those things that are swirling around telling you that you're not worth it, telling you that, okay, you did good for a little while, but like, look, you're here again, and being able to tell those thoughts to go to hell, frankly.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So while I don't love that this is back where you are, I love that this is when I'm having a conversation with you, because so often we hear of these tips and these tricks and these things from people who are at the top. And I think it can be really powerful to hear from somebody who's in it and feeling those emotions right now, not recounting them, not like, oh, I remember when And because I know when I first talked, when you were like, I don't know if I have anything to share right now because I'm not in a spot. And I was like, well, not that I'm happy that you're in a spot, but I really want to talk to you now. Because I think that that's when we can, like we said at the very beginning, like when we can connect and when we can do that. And I think that the conversation that we're having today is powerful, and someone listening has heard exactly what they need to keep going,
Yeah.
See that 444.
Yes. I so appreciate that you said that to me, because honestly, that like you said that in your email too, and I didn't respond. I'm sorry, but that gave me the confidence to share and to sit and really think about like why I am in a little bit of a better place now than I was a couple months ago, like what have I been doing? And so it made me think that through and really kind of analyze what I can do from here too, And I just love that you shared that, because it's like we started this conversation. When you can be vulnerable with somebody, you have a better connection with them. And I feel like you trust them more too. Like
Absolutely.
So many people that follow me now didn't follow me 5 years ago. So many people that are friends with me, I didn't know 5 years ago. And oh my gosh, I was having this conversation with a friend earlier today. The people that have seen me go through life and they've seen me and they got to know me at certain stages, it's almost like they don't, I don't know. They have a better connection with you, but they also like, what am I trying to say? They, like they know you and they trust you. And so when you can be vulnerable with them and they understand a little bit more of what you're going through. And so those people that didn't know me when I had depression with Fiona, or my baby, and they saw like my pink hair and like my rainbows and all this crazy bright fun stuff, and I was smiling in every picture, like they're like, oh well, she's just like up there, like it seems unattainable almost.
Yeah.
I really think that was one thing that pushed me to post something today, was that no, I'm not always in a good place, but these things that I've learned are still true, and they still can help me get through where I'm at right now. And I think a lot of us are not in a good place right now too.
Yeah. Well, I like that. I like what you're saying is that we're complex. Like we're complex beings. Life is complex, and we're not just going to feel the one way. Like you can be high on life with pink hair and living it and still also be like, we can be experiencing so many different things at the same time.
Yeah.
And I think as we share that, it helps everyone else be like, oh, so I'm normal.
Yes, exactly. And there is hope to like love where you at, no matter where you're at too. You can have goals, for sure, and they are beautiful, and achieving them is rewarding and more proof that you can be more. But still loving where you are now is so important, and so almost like the point of why we're here, right? Like we want to love our journey. We don't want to love the future of where we could be. Why not love right now? And using affirmations can do that. Even when I'm in this dark hole, I can still use affirmations to make my day a little bit brighter and a little bit better. And that's it. That's what it's all about.
Absolutely. So, homework for you listening: come up with an affirmation today that's going to help you to feel present, to feel grounded and happy in the moment right now. And then continue on with that. Steph, oh, this was such a good conversation. I mean, we could probably sit here and talk for like 10 different hours.
We probably could.
We probably could. Everyone who's listening, where can they find you, and where do you hang out most, and anything else that you've got going on?
Yeah. I mostly hang out on my Instagram. Definitely come hang out with me on Instagram, because I love meeting new people there. I love gaining internet friends, and my Instagram is that Undercover Unicorn. You have to put in that, not the. And yeah, and I have actually some really exciting things happening next month. I have a new collection coming out for my jewelry boutique, but it's all connected to everything I'm doing with events and everything too. So stay tuned. I don't have any official announcements.
So exciting. That's okay. It's always good to just be, anticipating what is coming. And I know that you've got so many good things in the works. You are awesome. I love what you're doing. I love who you are. Just grateful that the internet brought us together, and grateful for the platform we have now that you guys all get to meet Steph as well. So thanks so much, Steph.
Thank you for having me. You are amazing. I'm so glad to be here. So thank you.
Oh, you're the best.
Thank you for hanging out with me again today. I'm so glad you pressed play. If you want to take a quick second to share this episode with someone you think would love it too, that would be amazing. If you're loving the show, make sure you go and leave a review on iTunes. Reviews are like magic for podcasts, and your review will help get this show into the ears of more amazing women just like you. And come find me over on Instagram. I'm there at positively.jessie, and I cannot wait to hang out with you some more. So until next time, have an amazing week.